Hello, hello. We're gonna get started in a few seconds. I'm just waiting to see who else gonna join in the conversation for today. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am I am doing it early today because Malia has to talk with her teacher at 3:30, and um I didn't want to, you know, I don't know how long she's going to be talking to her teacher, so I didn't want to put God second to that and, end up being super late doing the video. So I figured I'll just do it before, keeping God first. Um, so today we're talking about submitting to God. Mm-mm-mm. So that was Well, the pastor, I love my church home. They are so awesome. They're awesome people. They are always finding time to talk to me about stuff. He always calling me out too. I be like, God, why is the pastor always calling me out? Like everybody else in the church, he just Letitia, can I speak to you for a second? I'm like, yes. But yeah, the pastor, he spoke on, submitting to your husband. That was the topic yesterday. And I don't know, the devil, he was working yesterday because we overslept. And by the time we got up, church had started, so we just didn't go. But he actually recorded the sermon and sent it to me, and I put it on my Facebook. So if anybody is interested in listening to it, it's on my Facebook, Couture Nikki Hugh. Yeah, that's my Facebook. Sound all fancy, don't it? I know. Let me stop. But he sent it to me, and we was also discussing it last night because it was like, because of the sins of Adam and Eve, um, the woman's, like, you know, price for sin was that she was gonna have, you know, basically horrible childbirth. That's the pains of childbirth, and that she would, and her husband would rule over her. You know, when when a woman hears somebody ruling over her, especially nowadays, they be like, who gonna rule over who? What? Nobody rules over me. And then it was like the man's, price for sinning is that he would have to, work by the sweat of his brow, while he's here on earth. So we was having Bible study last night, and we came across the part where, we was talking about the woman's wages of sin, the childbearing, and her husband ruling over her. And this girl, I'm trying to tell y'all, everybody at my church is married except for me. I'm like the only single person at that church. I just be like, my time is coming. It's coming. I'm not gonna rush it. I don't care. But it's good to be surrounded around, godly married couples, because it shows me what it takes for me to have my own golly, marriage one day. But yeah, she was like, rule over me. I don't like how that sound. I was like, yeah, I feel you. Like, rule, what that mean? Like, I thought this was a partnership, and his sermon was basically talking about that. Is the man rule over the woman as a leader, but not in a controlling way. You got the good leaders and the bad leaders. You got these good leaders that are really servants of, their workers. They're there helping the servant. They're helping, you know, the people that they're working over to, grow in the right direction. So it's beneficial for everybody. But then you got those leaders that just love the control, the power aspect, and they're just there to tell people what to do, and they don't really want to help anybody or work together to help the whole unit grow, you know, together as a unit. So he was basically saying like God didn't intend the man to just, you know, rule over the woman in the aspect of she becomes his slave. Like she just there to cook and clean for him and he does nothing for her. No, he rules over her in leadership, but he's there for her when he see that she might be lacking in something. It's a partnership where I'm weak, you're strong, where you're strong, vice versa, and together we bring a balance and we become one person, this one strong, indestructible unit together. We together we become a superhero that nobody can stop. I love superheroes, so yeah, so that's what that's why marriage is so important, and really taking the time and really knowing who you marrying before you marry them, because if you marry the wrong person, you won't become a superhero. You might become a villain, a super villain. If you marry the wrong person, you'll be doing most of the hefty lifting while the other person, is you know, just telling you what to do and not contributing anything. I don't know, but it'll make your superpowers less strong, I guess. You won't be as super, because there's a difference. There's a difference between, Superman, superhero, and like Batman, superhero. Superman is literally unstoppable except for if you got some kryptonite. That's like the only thing that can stop this man. And he can super speed, the vision, just he can fly, he's super strong, like everything. This man is literally probably the ideal, when it comes to a superhero, unstoppable, except for that one, little thing. But if you can't get to that, then there's no way to stop him. But then you got Batman, who's a superhero, but he's human and he has no powers. So it's like all his all his like strength come from gadgets. He's super smart. Yes, he's a brilliant man. 'Cause in order to, come up with all that technology to fight bad crime is very impressive. Yeah, but I don't. It's just impressive that he's able to do all of that and be human. He's like the only human superhero without shortchange Batman, but still he's not on Superman level. He could never compete with Superman. Like no matter how smart he is, he can never beat Superman. And so it's like that is what you want when looking for a partner, somebody that you can be with, that together y'all become this unstoppable force, you know from God, just out here giving hope to everybody, being that ideal relationship for people, giving people hope that love is real and all that. But basically, I was listening to the sermon from yesterday, and the pastor started off by telling this story about a married couple. Um, One day, the wife just packed up and left no notice or nothing. So the husband, he didn't know what happened to her. He got worried. He called the police, filed a missing police report, and after investigation, they found out that she had just left him. It wasn't she wasn't hurt or nothing. She just left him, and they asked him, did he wanna, did they want to take him where she was? And he was like, no, obviously I wasn't good to her, so I'm not gonna bother her. So instead, he decided to write her notes. So I think for like 2 or 3 months, he wrote her notes and trying to figure out where things went wrong and how could, I guess, make things better. And she never responded. And then Christmas came around and he decided to just show up where she was. And when he got there, he found out that she was living in this like rundown motel, and he asked her to come home and she said yes. And he put his pride to the side and he asked her, I've been writing you for months. Why haven't you responded? And she said, because those were just words. I was waiting for you to come and get me like you did now. Like I wanted to see how much you really wanted me, how much you really wanted me there. Was it enough for you to come and get me? And that that's some deep stuff for real. It's like somebody can tell you what you want to hear all day long, but until they actually put the action with it and they show up for you, that is somebody worth, sticking around with. And I told my cousin that. I was like, Boy, you ain't been married like about 4 times. Probably more than that. I don't know. I was like, I'm happy that you're finally, seeking God and you stop, running away from things. Time stuff get hard and you actually sticking it out with this marriage. And he like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. And I just had to tell him like the only perfect one is God. Anybody else on this earth is nowhere near perfect. But if you got somebody that is willing to help you grow through your, I guess, insecurities and just love you despite, your character flaws and just legit just want to be there with you, that is somebody worth fighting for. That is somebody worth sticking it out through the hard times with and, you know, just loving, just that is the one. That's how you know that is the one. And some people will stick around, but I think the difference between just sticking around because you think you love somebody and sticking around because this is your soulmate, this is where you're meant to be, there will be growth. Like you'll be helping each other grow and you can just I don't know, I just feel like you can just tell because some it's like to have somebody, showing you how you can improve and then just loving you to the point that you want to improve for them versus somebody just telling you what to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm putting this right, but it's like somebody loving you so good to the point that you want to do the things you've never done before. Like if you can't cook, that person love you so much you willing to go take cooking classes for them because they treat you well and they love you to the point you want to do something to show them that I'm doing this for you because I appreciate what you do for me and I appreciate the love you show me. Or, you know, I personally don't like wearing makeup, but if my husband wanted me to wear makeup because that makes him happy, well, then I just slap on some makeup to make him happy. I don't know how to be sexy, but if that is what was required for my husband, then I just go take some classes or something and figure out how to be sexy. You know what I'm saying? The effort to put in for somebody who is genuinely just loving you and loving you the right way. It makes you want to do stuff that you might be uncomfortable with or you might not be used to doing, but it'll make you want to do it because that person just loves you so much and you know that nobody else in this world is going to love you that same way. Um But yeah, I was telling my pastor, I was like, I have no problem submitting to like my husband or whoever God has in store for me to marry. I have no problem. It would be an adjustment, yes, because I'm used to, doing things alone. I'm not used to nobody helping me. So to have somebody there to actually help me do things will be, strange, and it would take some adjustment, but it's just it's gonna I'm gonna do it because I know that's what I was praying for God to send me somebody who would want to help me, whenever the burden get too much, and who would want to love me the right way and guide me in the right direction. That is like the the thing for me about submitting. I have no problem submitting, but I want to be secure in knowing that I'm being led in the right direction. I don't want to be following behind somebody that's going to lead me to destruction. And I've been out here trying to be this, ride or die chick for these guys that never had any real leadership or guidance in their life. They didn't have a positive male figure in their life to guide them. And so I'm looking for them to guide me, and they didn't even know how to guide themselves. Um, and they didn't know what it takes to be a leader of a family. They didn't know how to appreciate to have somebody beside you that's willing to rock with you, through the good and the bad, and just really support you, and like a spouse. But I had to learn, if I want a a good husband, a great husband, this godly marriage, then I'm going to have to submit to God. Because at the end of the day, everybody submits to something. If it's God, if it's the devil, if it's money, if it's whatever, you submitting to something. So I just want to submit to the right thing so I can have a prosperous and peaceful, happy life. That's all I want, is just to be happy and have peace. It's just like, bring on the peace. I love it. I love the peace. But I had to learn. I got to submit to God first. And by submitting to Him and allowing Him to come in and lead my life and stop telling Him no, He is going to guide me to that perfect job, that I might need right now until my business just kick off and flowing. He gonna lead me to the right doctor who's going to know fix me. He gonna lead me to the right man who also submits to him, and because he submits to God, he's able to love me properly. Life is about submitting. What are you willing to submit to? Is it gonna be the right thing or the wrong thing? But you're gonna submit. I hope you choose God and when you ready to submit. And because earlier each day I've been working on doing like to yesterday's sermon really inspired me on what it's going to take to be like the best woman for my future husband. Just like has to cook, she gotta make sure the house is clean, she gotta make sure the kids is straight. It's like I thought this was a partnership. You helping each other out. But it seems like the woman is doing everything and the man just sits around and waits. I don't know. That's after listening to the sermon. It's like when you're properly, you don't mind doing those things for the person you love. So when God say, here, this is your soulmate.